I want to take a moment to sift through all of the rubble to get an estimate of the damage from the demolition derby that was the Senate confirmation hearings of Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. But before we do that, let's just take a step back to see what the Constitution says is supposed to happen. The writers of the Constitution were wary of presidential power, and they wanted to make sure the Senate had a say in who gets important positions, especially a lifelong position like the Supreme Court. So they used a term from Old English law, advise and consent, which means exactly what it says. The president gets to nominate a person, and the Senate gives final consent. But advise and consent has been corrupted by politics, as then nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh forcefully pointed out to the Senate Judiciary Committee.
The Constitution gives the Senate an important role in the confirmation process, but you have replaced advice and consent with search and destroy.
And there's plenty of evidence that he's right about that. Advise and consent is the opposite of the word resistance. And the Kavanaugh hearings became a bloody battle in the resistance war against President Donald Trump, and has much more to do with the 2018 midterms and the 2020 presidential elections than the Supreme Court. And that's why 2020 presidential hopefuls, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker and California Senator Kamala Harris, were moved over to the Judicial Committee right before the hearings. They were campaigning. And now both Republicans and Democrats will use the Kavanaugh hearings to stir up the passions of their supporters right before the all-important 2018 midterm elections that will determine control of the Senate. But in this savage fight for power, what has been damaged? The Me Too movement has been damaged. The foundation of this all-important movement is that all women who come forward should be believed. But now that it has been politicized and weaponized, future allegations will face more scrutiny. The reputation of the Senate Judicial Committee has been damaged, and especially ranking member Dianne Feinstein. Christine Blasey Ford sent a confidential letter to Senator Feinstein, and it was leaked to the Washington Post. And then she and her story had to face national cameras and national debate. Will any reluctant witness ever come forward to the committee or its senators if they know they will not be protected? Any hope of bipartisanship in government has also been badly damaged. Angry calls for revenge for Kavanaugh will drown out any calls for compromise and further widen the divide in America. And that's how we are all damaged. The anger from the Kavanaugh hearings has seeped into our neighborhoods and our homes, affecting our families and our friendships. But please understand that the anger you are feeling is being manipulated by both political parties to stir passions for the midterm elections, so you'll vote and you'll contribute. And the people who are doing the manipulating care little about any collateral damage. They care little about the privacy of Christine Blasey Ford or the reputation of Justice Kavanaugh, or you and your family for that matter. They care about political power and profit. And if you're able to see through that and reject it, then maybe some good came from all of this. We'll talk again soon.